And welcome to the Alltech Arena at the Kentucky Horse Park. And I'm John Nicholson. I'm the Executive Director of the Kentucky Horse Park. And it's my pleasure not only to welcome you here to the Alltech Arena and to the Kentucky Horse Park, but to welcome you here on a day where we make yet the newest of what has been an era of many historic announcements. Therefore, to set the stage for that, we would like to take a minute or so out and look at our very wonderful and expensive video board that will tell much of the story of why we were gathered here today.
Reining really, for our country, was hit out of the park for these World Equestrian Games. We had the individual gold medalist. Our team, the United States team, won gold medal as well. And I had an opportunity to talk to Tom McCutcheon just a couple of weeks ago as we had our annual meeting here in Lexington. Tom was appointed to be the Athlete of the Year for the United States Equestrian Federation, and the horse that he rode in the competition became our Horse of the Year. I know that they're very, very excited about coming back out for two nights of competition. The Freestyle is going to be absolutely terrific, and it's going to work really, really well from a scheduling standpoint, because on that Saturday afternoon when cross country is pretty much over, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to end up with 40, 50,000 people here, maybe even more if the weather's going to cooperate, and they'll all be able to walk over here to the arena, to the Alltech Arena, and see this great reining competition. So we're really looking forward to it, and on behalf of the United States Equestrian Federation, John, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
With this being perhaps the most promising era ever for Lexington, we are immersed in a sense of optimism and a can-do spirit. And certainly our new mayor, in both style and in substance, is leading that effort. And under his leadership, we have a great deal to look forward to. Our mayor, Jim Gray.
Look over this crowd and think back to the games and just how that reining competition captured the imagination, the fascination. Lisa's smiling big there. All of you all who know this so well, it just captured so much of the spirit of the games, the events, the people who were here, the visitors who were here, and so much really of the spirit of our state. And I love the way John Long was saying earlier. He said, to describe this, he said, this really is another step in this legacy that is being created. Couldn't be expressed any better. What this represents for our city was said so well just now by John. You know, there are inflection points in our lives, there are inflection points in our families, in our work environments, businesses, professions, and there are inflection points in a city's history. And the games last year were certainly one of those inflection points. Now our challenge, as John and John have already expressed, is to carry that on.
So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome again our dear friend and our First Lady, Jane Bashir.
I've been involved with this Kentucky Horse Park almost since the very beginning days. I've watched it grow from a horse lover's pipe dream to the world-class competition facility that it is today. The day we cut the ribbon on the stadium, I was almost in tears. I felt like I had seen my child grow up and become an adult. I was here in 1978, along with Janie Atkinson and some of the other folks that are in this crowd, for the World Championships that kicked off the openings of the Kentucky Horse Park. And then very shortly thereafter, as a matter of fact, the very next year, I became a board member of the organizing group that we all know as Equestrian Events, Inc. We were thrilled when Rolex became the title sponsor, but I don't think any of us imagined or dreamed that that event would become North America's only 4-star 3-day event, that it would bring competitors and horses the very best from all around the world. It grew with its humble beginnings with an event like that that helped convince the FEI and the horse park and the world that we were the place right here to hold the 2010 Alltech World Equestrian Games. I really don't think that without the long-standing success of the Rolex event, that the World Games would have ever come to Kentucky. Do you, John? So I say to all of the board members, past and present, what an incredible job you have done in this event and in putting us on that world stage. We probably wouldn't have received the bid as well if we had not had the necessary infrastructure that would support all the disciplines of the games. You know, there were a lot of questions when we started talking about the new stadium and indeed this arena. Would the money be well spent? What would it bring to the park and to this community and to the Commonwealth? But I know I was, as was the governor, convinced that the first shovel that broke the ground for this building in 2009, the Alltech Arena, would attract national and international caliber shows, allowing our park to operate year-round. This weekend, or that we're talking about coming up in April, is a lasting legacy from the World Games. We've already proved the worth of all the effort that went into the World Games just by those 16 days. But to be able to think that the World Games and our facilities here have allowed us to present even more events. As a matter of fact, 24 new events that are coming to the Kentucky Horse Park. This arena, the Alltech Arena, will allow us to host 2 international events at one time, only 6 months after the closing of the games. The Kentucky Reining Cup is a perfect addition to the horse park's lineup, and it's even more perfect that it will coincide with the Rolex 3-day event. I've no doubt that these 2 events combined will draw huge crowds to our horse park and to the Lexington community. Not only do we have the honor of hosting a 5-star reining competition, the highest rating for that discipline, we're hosting the first ever world champion freestyle competition. I don't think they're going to let me participate this time. I think I was told in my lesson that I needed a few more. But I will be front and center. This competition will mark the first time that the title of world champion will be awarded in freestyle reining, and that was a crowd pleaser for everyone who attended the games. The event's $25,000 in prize money will be the largest purse for a reining freestyle anywhere in the world. So it's been an exciting year for our horse park. Last year's successful hunter jumper shows, if you were out here any time during those shows, realizing the numbers of horses and people that were here throughout the spring and summer. Our World Games, securing the National Horse Show, what a kudo for our horse park. And now the Kentucky Reining Cup. We have so much to be proud of at this park, and in this community. So I look forward to another year of world-class competitions at our park. And I am proud to be a part of this announcement that in April, not only will we present again our Rolex Three-Day Event, but we will also include our Kentucky Reining Cup. What a time for Kentucky. What a time for the horse park. Thank you.
But the story of those World Games and the story of all these new facilities, I think, as the First Lady said, it's been a story of promises kept. And this, the Kentucky Reining Cup, is just the latest example of that legacy and that kept promise, but it is far from the last. Thank you all for being here, and I think we're all available to talk to any media for a few minutes, and we're just delighted to have you here and looking forward to April. Thank you.